One of my trick interview question is when people talk about REST, that REST is about resources, and there are URLs that you can that you can call, and then those URLs, they're going to represent a resource on the internet, right? Uh, just to evaluate their understanding, I throw them a curveball question, a difficult question, and that question is, how do you design a calculator using RESTful API? And then a calculator is going to have operations like add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Make sense? Now, the way we design our application is we rely, web APIs at least, is we rely heavily on these verbs. So there's going to be get, put, post, and delete. And these verbs, they are going to have some action. Get is going to return a series of object or a single object. A post is going to create a resource and it is going to take input for creating that resource from the client. A put is almost similar. It is going to update only a fewer field, and delete is going to remove that resource from the server. Now add does not fit in this schema because add is an operation. I'm going to pass 1 and 2, and then when 1 and 2 they are added, it's going to return summation, the total 3 as a response. But what REST says is when you are posting something, you are creating a resource on the server side, right? And the response itself is going to be the URL where the result is stored, right? And in that sense, HTTP verbs, they do not align with these actions here, because if you want to take 1 and 2, do a summation and save the result as a resource on the internet, your add method itself will be modified using HTTP post. The result 3 is not going to will not be returned as number 3. It will be saved somewhere on the server side as, say, a database entry or a file entry, and then you are going to provide a URL where you can get this resource from. So you will have to add another method to this list, and that is, say, result. And result is going to hit the calculator service version 1 slash result, and then you're going to provide an ID here, that my last operation ID was, say, 1234, and then whatever happened as this resource creation, you want to come back with this. You want to know the result of the last operation that you performed, right? So web APIs, they are not about performing actions and operations like this one. They are about identifying resources. And then when you create applications like a calculator using REST API, there is a bit of overlap between the expectation from the API and what REST proposes. So you will have to twist a lot of uh, alternatives. You'll have to do a lot of tweaking of the calculator expectation, and you are not going to return the result directly. Instead, you're going to create the result as a resource on the server, and you're going to save that result, and you're going to return a way of accessing that resource to the client along with the result properly. So once again, it's going to have a value tag where you can return 3, and then you can have a bunch of URLs. Say if you want to undo the operation of adding, right, you can go ahead and delete that resource from the server. All right, so with this, let's bring our session for today to an end.